All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. It is November the 26th, 2021. My noise gate on my OBS is being stupid. It's cutting off way worse than it ever had before. So I turned it off, and you're hearing every little thing now, which I hate. I will have to get back in there and fix it somehow, but this you're going to hear different things. I'm just saying that right now. To me, it's like a nightmare scenario where you can hear every little click of my teeth, or every time I swallow, or every time I breathe, which I cannot stand. So we'll soldier through this. It's just things that I don't like to hear. I'm sure other people it doesn't bother, but for me, it bothers me. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with my noise gate. Until then, we still have I still have my noise suppressor on, so it's taking some of it out, but it's not the best. Anyways, we are on Psalm 58 today. This is to the chief musician, Al Tashith, okay, a Miktam of David. Psalm 58. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. As a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that a man shall say, Verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth in the earth. Amen. And again, I am a little tongue tied this morning. I had a sneezing fit before everything started. And it's the Friday after Thanksgiving, of course. Um, we will be having people over today, and I will be working. So, I apparently we're having it late too. She said that people aren't really going to start showing up until like 2 or 3. That's whenever we're supposed to have food, and I'm like, I can't take my lunch break at 3 o'clock, so I'm missing everything, and I can't get off work early either. So the whole situation is kind of screwy. So I'm soldiering through. Uh, let's go over this one. There were a couple things in here that were interesting, to say the least. Uh, Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. In your heart ye work wickedness, which is where just about everything a man does comes from the heart, comes from inside. And does God know men's hearts? God knows men's hearts, for they do wickedness. That is not verbatim, and I cannot go back and point out exactly where that was. But for the people that always say when they do something that God knows their hearts. Yes, he does. He does know your heart. He knows that men do wickedness in their heart continuously. That's why when we are washed clean with the blood of Christ, he gives us a new heart. He puts his laws in our heart and in our minds. Makes us something new, makes us something better. So that we do not have that. Oh, you can hear everything, can't you? I can see the thing moving. It's like as soon as I move something on the table, something moves. But he can see the wickedness in our heart. He knows what men conspire to do in their hearts. So we're not put here to follow our hearts. We are put here to follow his word. If that makes any sense. And it's amazing 9 times out of 10 whenever you have to bring that up, it's most often because of holidays. Well, God knows in our hearts that we're doing it for him. Are you sure about that? Are you really sure about that? But that's a whole nother video I could get into. I know I could get crazy on that stuff. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Think about that one for a second. As soon as they're born, they go astray. I mean, it's not like, man, why, why, why did it just come into my head? The people that say, "Well, I'm just born this way." Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Because that's such garbage. But the Bible almost just confirms that. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And the people that just they say they can't be any better because they're just born that way. Oh, but again, they're just speaking lies. It's just nonsense. It's when it comes out of their mouths, it's just lies. But that's bad. That's that's going to be kind of a, well, no, not really, because you could throw it back in people's faces if they use that. If you were ever talking to somebody and they said that they were a certain way because they were just born that way, then you could say, yes, you're right. You're born that way because you were wicked as soon as you were estranged from the womb. Is that you went astray as soon as you were born, speaking lies. Wow. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming it never so wisely. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. As a snail which melteth, which is an interesting line. Let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Like the untimely birth of a woman. Sometimes there's phrases that I don't understand. And I'm sure that they were phrases which made sense when this was written. But when we see them, they don't make sense because we don't see that stuff. Before your pots, it could be a translation thing too. I probably should look at the Strongs on those. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. And there it is again, how when the judgment comes, how the righteous will celebrate. What was the one that we did? What was the one where they were talking about they will stand up and cry out? I don't remember what it was. Or they will laugh. No, come on now. I'm not saying it was just recent too. I mean, it was just recent within the past couple days, where they will laugh when whenever the wicked are destroyed. And I thought it was interesting. I'm not seeing it, but I know I said it. I just don't remember where it is now. But I saw a one of those Facebook memes that people tend to post, and it was saying that we are supposed to love everyone, and that we are supposed to pray for the good tidings of everyone, and we are supposed to, we're not supposed to be glad when somebody gets hurt, and we are supposed to, be thankful for what we have, and it was more tuned for, we're supposed to pray for the people of this world that are, do bad, and that we are not supposed to take vengeance. One of those types of things where, it was basically saying, well, Jesus wouldn't have done this, Jesus wouldn't have done that, and we are supposed to be like him. And I kind of stopped and really thought about it for a second, and I was like, no, I just read in the Bible because Christ read these Psalms too. Christ would have absolutely understood these. God, Christ would not just because okay, blah, blah, blah. Let me try this again. Just because Christ ate and dined and went into sinners does not mean he respected all people. If Christ respected all people, then why was he flipping tables? He flipped tables and pulled whips, cracked those whips, just straight cracked them. Said, "You have turned my house into a den of sin." So, where was he? Where was he respecting other people then? Where was he respecting other people when he was sitting by a fountain and the woman came up and asked him if she could be saved? And he made the harshest, and people don't understand it. This is like one of the harshest, put downs that you could you could have done at the time. Is that we don't throw the meat to dogs, or what was he the one to say? I mean, she said even the dogs will eat up the scraps. Let me see if I can find that. I wish I knew what these. Basically told her just to go away. I mean, it was I cannot find it. It was one of the women from one of the other cities that I don't know if he thought of her as a Gentile or what it was, but he basically told her, I cannot help you. And she asked, or she said, even the dogs will eat the scraps. And that was whenever he kind of stopped and he said, you are wise enough to, or enough to be able to be saved. And that was, I'm looking. Hold on, I'm looking. I'm still looking. Um, in the end, though, while I'm looking, he he wasn't an absolute respecter of persons. He never was. She was Canaanite. Of course, she was Canaanite. Because there you go. I was right there too, man. Matthew. I know, dead air. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it, especially without the noise gate, so you can probably hear every breath I take. That's why I did it. There it is. Yeah, Matthew 15:21. Then Jesus went thence and departed to the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. But he didn't answer her. He didn't immediately turn around and say, Okay, yes, I will help you. Because that's just not what he did. He didn't come. Sorry about that. Wow. He didn't come to save everybody. He came to save his people. That's something that you have to look into as well. It wasn't until after that. It wasn't until after he died that he found out that his own people to were willing to kill him. That he told Paul, "You need to go to the Gentiles and tell them that they are welcome." And he says it too. But he answered and said, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which were his people." Then came she and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." And he answered and said, "Is it not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs?" Which means, is it good to give the dogs the bread of the children? Is it good to give them the best food? And she said, "Truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table." Then Jesus answered and said unto her, "O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt." And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. But it was one of those things where he didn't just he didn't respect everybody for what it was, for who they were. It was he came to do something specific for specific people. But when they turned their back on him, that's when he said, there are enough Gentiles out there that will worship me. I will take them." Now, granted, I have said it before throughout the Bible that there have been many times where it is said, you can take the Gentile in as long as they want to come and learn our ways, they can be saved. It has never been about, only one, one nation of us will be saved. It has always been about, if they want to come in, if they want to learn the ways, if they want to exist with us, then we will let them. Do not turn the stranger away. That was something very similar that Abraham was told. Do not turn the stranger away. So you let them come in. You let them be a part of this. But this all comes back to or the righteous will be laughing and washing their feet in the blood of the wicked. That's what this all ties back to. I know, man, I went roundabout on that one, didn't I? But this all comes back to that. There's going to be a point where there will be rejoicing. There will be rejoicing over the death of the wicked. And that's a very strange concept. But that's what it says. That's exactly what the book says. We are not respecters of all men. We are respecters of God, respecters of Christ. We follow Him. We are thankful to Him for leading us out of these lies of these lies of the wicked that are led astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. And we will one day celebrate. Celebrate that he has taken them away from this world. That's some. Those are some hard words to wrap your mind around, isn't it? That's some pretty hard stuff because everybody wants to go out and think that everything's going to be all nice and cheery and beautiful and everything, and there's some there's some interesting things that are coming. And I know that's hard stuff too. That's hard stuff to think about, and trying to wrap your head around it. It might not make any sense at all, just really on the surface level of it, trying to wrap your head around what that means. It might drive you crazy trying to figure that out, but that's exactly what the book says. And people don't like to hear that. People don't like to hear a lot of that. And even for me now, sitting here thinking about it, it's a little strange, but that's part of it. That's just got to be part of it. One of these days, I'll go back and read through Revelation again because I'm pretty sure that there's probably some interesting things in there that I missed the first time. But we are approaching this not from what we know. We are approaching this from what the book tells us because one true this is our one true book of faith and trust in the Father. This is what we have. And this is what we have to go by. So what else is there to say? I mean, what else is there for me to say? I know what else there is for me to say. There is another psalm that says it perfectly. And I do not have it marked, but it says there is a time for love and a time for hate. There is a time for peace and there is a time for war. There is a time to live and there's a time to die. Pretty much everything else that you can remember from the song. I know it's that's how they twist the words. Is that they put it in songs, or they put it into movies, or they put it into something else, and it twists it just enough that you don't remember the actual words. That's how they do it. And I'm sitting there looking for it, and I can't find it. It was in here towards. I thought it was in the hundreds, but I guess I was wrong. But I have kind of held on to that. I held on to that psalm, because when you really remember, when you really think about it, it says there is a time to love and a time to hate. There is a time to kill. That it's not, we're not, we are to be as much like Christ as possible. But even he flipped tables. Even he was cracking the whips. You have to take the whole thing. You can't just take the good stuff. You have to you can be merciful and loving and caring to everybody. You can. But that doesn't mean you have to put up with nonsense. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That doesn't mean that you go out and immediately start killing everybody. That's not something we do. We rebuke and we point out evil in all of its forms. We are not afraid to say it out loud in front of the wicked. We're not afraid to speak our mind and say what it is that they are doing wrong. We are not to judge, but we are to point out. Because we cannot judge until we have nothing to be judged for. If that makes any sense. If any of it makes any sense. Unless I'm speaking completely out of my ass. Which I could be. It's possible. Today is one of those days. Does it make sense, though? Something to ponder on. Something to ponder on. Something to definitely meditate on. Something that is been put into my mind is the more you read it, especially like this, the more you read it, the more you hear little things, the more you understand little things, the more you think, it's not all butterflies and rainbows, and it's not all that. There's something else. There's something else to it. It doesn't mean to immediately go out and hate everybody and, despise everyone. It's not it. Call it out. Do not be afraid to call it out. That has been the biggest problem that we have had probably for the past couple hundred years, is that people have been told to just put up with it and to be afraid of other people. We are to not live in fear. We are to not live in fear of what they tell us. We are not to live in fear of anything of this world. We are not to live in fear of speaking the word. But the enemy has used so many different passages, so many different scriptures to be able to tell us the exact opposite, is that we are to just follow along, that we are just to live by their rules, to fear the people at the top, and to not speak out, and that everything's going to be hunky-dory. That's not what it is. There was another meme, actually, I saw that said that three things Jesus did not say was, you will not be wealthy, you will not be healthy, and you will not be popular. Or no, the other, I had it backwards. Sorry, I am such a fool. Three things that he did not say is that you will be wealthy, you will be popular, you will be healthy. No, or not healthy. What was it? It wasn't that you will be healthy. What the hell? Let me go back. Let me look. I think I saved it. I probably didn't. I didn't because I didn't want to get into a fight while I was in the middle of having dinner with my mom. But it was saying, it never said anything about you will have everything that this world offers you. It never said anything about that. What it did say was you will be persecuted. You will be broke. You will be cast out. Pretty much was what it was. Something similar to that. You will be hated for his name because of what you say. And that is something that a lot of people seem to skip over whenever it comes to actually reading the book. Not only do people twist the words to make it fit their agenda, and Father, please do not let me lead anyone astray on this. Not only do people twist the words to meet their own agenda, but at the same time, they seem to skip right over all the points where it says what is that noise? But they seem to skip over all the points where it says that you're not supposed to have everything in this world. You can ask and God will provide, but that doesn't mean that every time you get that big paycheck from work, or you win the lottery or something crazy like that. That doesn't mean that every single time you do that, you get that from God. He never promised any of that to us. The opposite is true, is that, you will be scorned and mocked and put out and persecuted because you chose to be different. And that's definitely coming around now, isn't it? They are definitely pushing that people that do not want to comply to the evils of this world, they're definitely pushing that that we just don't get to exist in this world. And I am seeing more and more of that every day. Yeah, there's a weird noise going on upstairs. I don't know what's going on. My wife is sleeping, but that doesn't sound like she's sleeping. It sounds like she's talking. It's 5:30 in the morning. Who the hell is she talking to? I might have to go see what's going on. I hope this one made any sense at all. It sounds like it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. It's hard to say. It's hard to give a message that sounds so mixed. Um, because it does. It sounds like a mixed message. It sounds like I'm going two different places at once. But I'm trying not to. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it to where there's some understanding there. It goes back to that passage that we will be washing our feet in the blood of the wicked. And it's just when you hear something like that, when you hear the one about how there will be rejoicing, dancing, laughing at the death of the wicked. When you hear these things and you put it into context of what we've been told about, how it's going to be all puffy clouds and butterflies and, it's supposed to be all this pretty, pretty stuff, it doesn't match. It doesn't match. And that's because it's not all pretty, pretty butterflies. It's not all what we've been told. There's something else going on there. And it's a hard concept. It's a hard concept to grasp. It really is. There's so many times that I've stopped and said, Christ was love and mercy, and what He did for us was amazing. And the things that He put up with for us and what He did was incredible. And that He is love and He is compassion and His love is everlasting. But at the same time, when it came to flipping tables and cracking whips, He had to flip those tables. That's where I think it's. I'm going with this. Is that when it comes time for that, we need to not be afraid to say what we need to say. We need to not be afraid of being persecuted. We need to not be afraid of standing up for what we believe in. And it's because that we have been afraid, because we have gone along to get along, that we're in the situation we're in now. If any of that makes any sense, which it does to a point, And I'm sure that you know people could argue about it, and I would absolutely agree that there's probably something that I missed, something that doesn't make any sense. But you know, I I'm just like everybody else, man. I'm trying to find the truth. I can't. If we constantly listen to other people to find the truth, it would still be somebody else's distorted version of reality. Is what it would be. That's why I always say, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find it just as much as everybody else. But the more that I listen to other people, trying to find the way that things are, the more that I hear that it's not right. It doesn't make any sense. So, or it's backwards from what I actually read, and it's like, so why is it that you'll tell me one thing, but then I'll turn around and I'll read this in the Bible and it says something completely different from what you just said? Why is that? The last time I checked, God is not the author of confusion. So we're all trying here. We're all trying. We really are. And I don't want to, again, I don't want to lead anyone astray. Find out for yourself. Find out for yourself. If there's anything that I missed, feel free. I will absolutely look it up. Feel free to say something. I will absolutely look it up. Find out for myself to see if there's something I need to change. But that's all I got. That's really all I got right now. I gotta get off here so I can start work because it's the Friday after Thanksgiving and I have to work. And we're having a ton of people over. Oh, we're having a ton of people over, and everybody's going to be upstairs enjoying themselves. And I'm going to be down here working. It's going to be such a good time. And I'm going to have oh so much fun. Probably not, but you know how it goes. All right, thank you guys for listening. Uh, God bless everyone. I hope that everyone was able to have whatever kind of get together that they could have, whether you celebrate it or not. I don't like celebrating Thanksgiving, but just being able to actually see family again was pretty nice. Even though it was not, it's not what I remember. Uh, so my family is absolutely falling apart. It is what it is. So, but go and try not to fall into the absolute blatant consumerism of the holiday shopping season. If you got to go buy something, now while they got the discounts and stuff. But don't get trapped into that nonsense of just buying massive amounts of garbage just to make somebody happy. This is always the best time to pick the good stuff up. Stuff that you need for next year. Because there are things you need. It's not as it's been talked about before. Money is not the bad thing. It's the love of money that's the bad thing. So we are allowed to, you know, at least try to buy the things that we need to be able to get through life. It's just the massive amounts of things that we want that's the bad stuff. Though they say do not store up your treasures on this world, but try to store up your treasures in the next. Well, either way, thank you guys for listening. I will see y'all next week because I still don't know if I'll be able to. I won't be able to do anything this weekend because we have another family Thanksgiving to go through tomorrow too. So it's been 3 days of turkey. That's what this is going to be. So yay. Uh, all right, you guys take care, and I shall see everyone later.